we go, freshly delivered Flashforge Adventurer 3 Pro, as well as some brand new carbon fiber nylon filament and some vacuum bags. Hello tool and equipment people. As I said in my previous little video, I will be doing some 3D printing videos. As you can see, I've got a couple here. I'm going to be actually taking away a couple of these guys to make room for the new Flashforge that just arrived. This is my cabinet with some drawers for tools and supplies. I've got my materials in the center section here. I've got PETG at the top. Specialties like nylons and transparents and stuff like that are here. PLAs down the bottom, and then you can see over in the cabinet on the side there's my dryer, food dehydrator unit. So that's a little bit about the space we'll be working in, and you can see my 3D printed CN tower goes almost to the roof. It's 7.5 feet and goes all the way down to the floor. So yeah, I've got, I guess we can check these guys out quickly. I've got my Artillery X1 version 4 here. This guy here is a BICU B1. Both of these have been upgraded with PEI sheets on top, magnetic sheets, double-sided. Then over here I've got my Wanhao Duplicator i3 Mini. I've had that for a long time. That was actually my first printer I ever bought. It doesn't have a heated bed, so it's kind of limited to PLAs and TPUs, but it does work really well. And then on the end over here is some weird off-brand thing that I picked up that was working okay, but then the Z limit switch failed on it, and it's something on the main board. It's not recognizing it. I've checked the switch and it works. So anyway, that machine is going. So we're gonna take that guy down and probably take the little guy down and just kind of put them away, and then slide these guys down and make some room for the Flashforge Adventurer 3 Pro that just arrived. I know it's by no means a brand new machine in terms of release date, but it is the latest version, and I want to check it out. So that's where we're going to set up in my little space here. I also have, you can see my little webcam here, and I've got a lamp up at the top, so I have to relocate that guy. But yeah, I'll get this stuff cleaned up, and through the magic of editing, come back in a couple of minutes. So here we go. Got my Flashforge brought in to my workspace here, and I'm going to spare you guys the unboxing because there's 100 million other unboxing videos, so I'm just going to go straight into it set up on the bench. So it did come with a quarter roll of transparent red PLA. I bought the machine honestly to do nylons and carbon fibers, so I will probably never ever use that, so I'm just going to put it to the side. And we need to find this guy right here, which is our high temp nozzle, 265 degrees. So that guy we're going to swap in is going to be our first order of business. Alright, fire it up. Oh, I really like those lights. I like this door too. It feels like it closes nice. The only thing that does suck is it's not designed to take full kilogram rolls, so I had to make that. Oh, I see. I had to make a spool holder to go on the side. But it's not the end of the world, not a big deal. So it says, before using the first time, please calibrate the extruder first. Okay. pre-adjusting. So it's lifting the head so I can get this piece of cardboard out of here. Keep this area clear. It's very quiet, I have to say. The movements seem nice and quiet, no issues there. My Artillery X1 is probably the most silent machine I've ever used, so I'm interested to see how this guy does. There is a bit of a fan noise from, I think it's the bottom, but we can address that at some point. So this is the Pro, which means it has a little camera inside of it, which I thought was neat. Hopefully that works nice and smoothly. I guess this guy uses a flash print for the slicer. I've never used it. I've always used Cura for all of my machines, so we'll have to start that up and see what it says. I didn't notice a USB stick anywhere. I wonder if they've supplied software, or maybe I missed it somewhere. I'll have to look and see. Okay, let's see what we have. Tools. Connect our Wi-Fi. Alright, Wi-Fi is connected. That was quick and easy. It says we can hotspot as well. That's interesting. Got a couple of cloud options. Ethernet port, which I'm not going to be using. Firmware update. Yes, please. Apparently the update is complete. But it won't let me go menu back. So we'll do a power cycle. See if that brings it up. Let's got little magnets on the door. That's nice. It's a nice touch. That's what gives it that nice feel when it closes. It's good. The icon's changed a little bit. It says build instead of print. Got 6.5 gigs of internal storage. USB is not plugged in. Go back to tools, settings, status 18C on the nozzle, and then camera. LED. Buzzer, we want it off. Perfect. Extruder. Please enter the temperature deviation value. Okay, that's for setup. So we're going to run the Z up and we're going to switch that nozzle. Because, like I said, I bought this specifically for doing carbon fiber and nylon. So the nylon that I use has a print temperature of 255, which should be plenty fine with this 265 hot end. And this machine, because it's the Pro, has a glass bed, so it should be fine. So yeah, 0.4, 265, and apparently you just squeeze these little clamps, and that guy pops right out. Such a smart design. Would be really, really good with nozzle clogs. Just rip the whole unit out and change it. I like it. Okay. Since I changed that nozzle, I'll redo the calibration for the bed, just because it may be slightly different. So, good thing to double check. And I did get, with this order, a brand new spool of carbon fiber nylon, as well as some vacuum bags. So I went with a Saint Smart brand. It is a EPA CF carbon fiber nylon. I have been using the eSun up until now, but I couldn't get my hands on it currently, so I figured I'd try the Saint Smart. This is what I've been using. It's just eSun EPA CF. So I figured it's same stuff or similar, but we're going to give it a go. So open the other bag too. So yeah, these are vacuum Ziplocs, and it comes with a pump, and then you can put the filament in and then put the pump on and make it all vacuumy goodness. So we're going to give that a try later. Now we need to open this guy. Feels similar to the other stuff. So I did the filament load. It's apparently doing it has an automatic load function, so I normally do it manually, and all of my other printers, I guess not all of them, but some of my other printers are direct drive, so I usually just load it manually, but we'll see how this goes. Still showing 23C. It did say it was supposed to have a fast heating extruder, but this isn't heating at all. Okay. So the platform is heating. The extruder is not. Sweet. So right out of the box, neither extruder will heat up. So that's super great. Very, very pleased at the moment. I tried doing factory reset and it actually didn't factory reset. The beeper is still off. The function that was going on at the time was still going, so I don't even know the point of the factory reset because it didn't reset anything. Maybe needed a power cycle, but even still it's connected to the Wi-Fi, so it hasn't factory reset anything. The calibration adjustment maybe. There we go. It wasn't, you can't see it, but when you do a preheat, the big number is your current temperature, and then this smaller, lighter colored number is the set point. And the set point was staying at 0. It wasn't even trying to set up. So, okay, so that's good. So let's now abort that. We're going to go back and we're going to change our extruder again. Okay, so preheat. We're going to preheat the nozzle to 255. And we want our bed at 80. I believe that's what it was. Close this guy up, because using carbon fiber, if anyone has used it, definitely is not fun without a heated chamber. So we're going to see how long it takes for the chamber to warm up. I think I need to find a thermometer to test that with. So I have this, the wonderful little unit. It's made by SwitchBot. Connects to my Google Home and everything, and it gives me temperature and humidity. So I think I'm going to stick that right inside the case. So I'll be able to monitor that remotely, as well as from inside, like that. Probably wouldn't hurt to get a hairdryer or something to expedite the heating of the chamber. I feel like it's going to take a while to heat that air volume. And there's conveniently a gap in here around the printer head where I could fire the hairdryer right in there. In the meantime, let's push this right back, because we can, because there's nothing on the back. And let's see if we can get flash print working while we wait. Okay. Like I said, I didn't see a USB stick or micro SD or anything in the packaging. You would think it would come with a USB dongle with the software on it. Yeah, no software. Okay. Flashforge. All right, let's see what this looks like. Machine type is a Adventurer 3. It's similar to Cura. I'm finding most of the things by just poking around. Load filament seems to not work. Okay. So I squeezed out a little bit. It looks like they ran the transparent red through the high temp nozzle to test it, I guess. And then I squeezed out until all the red was gone. So now let's go sending file. Shows Benchy on the screen. Oh, I want to wipe down that build plate. I want to wipe down that bed with a bit of alcohol. I forgot to do that before starting the print. It's already 27.5 degrees inside the printer. I don't know if you can see in here, but it shows, the little temperature gauge shows that it's red. I wish it would have the actual number beside it, but it doesn't for some reason. We have a Wi-Fi symbol, and it shows the camera is active during printing. I wonder if we can view that in here. Current camera is off. Can we turn it on? Ooh, there it is. And we can control the lights on and off. And we can take a snapshot. Not that there's much to see just yet. But that's cool. Seems to be doing pretty good with that carbon fiber. It was stuck really well. The first little line that it drew before it paused was stuck really, really well. And we don't seem to be having any nonsense going on with the first layer here. There's a little chunk of something. Let's get that out of there. I could have waited a little bit longer for the temp to come up inside, but I think probably for this test, the Benchy is going to be fine. It's not going to lift or curl, but the extruder is definitely skipping. I like that it gives you a time remaining as well. That's pretty neat. Still skipping, eh? So this is only a single gear extruder, and it looks like there's no tension adjustment on it. So I turned the temperature up a bit because maybe it wasn't high enough for that carbon fiber. It says 240 to 260 and I was at 255. Should have been all right. Still getting some skipping. I have a feeling this unit only comes with a brass nozzle too. I may have to see if they have this in a hardened nozzle for one of the other ones. I believe it's the same nozzle they use on the Adventurer 4. So I'll check it out and see. That extra temperature seems to have eliminated the extruder skipping, so I guess it needed a little higher temp on this guy. And we lost bed adhesion, so there it is, not stuck to the bed. Let's check some slicing settings. Change the initial Z offset. That should help. It was set a little high. It's 29.5 degrees inside the cabinet. Well, we'll let it run and see what happens, and we'll come back and have a look a little bit later. While I was fiddling around with some cloud stuff, I came back to check on it, and there we go, a little focus. It lifted off the bed. And I don't have any glue or anything on there. I just wanted to see how this stuff would work right on the glass surface. But that being said, if I can get this to focus, there we go. Look at the surface finish on that. Like, that's really impressive, I think. I realize there's a big ball of string here, but you know, like the sides of the hull and stuff are pretty amazing. And even the floor inside, you know, it's really nice. I like the quality so far. I can probably just do a bit of glue stick to make that stick to the bed a little easier, so shouldn't be a big deal. But if I can get it to stick well, I think that's going to do a good job. So I'm going to fire up another one and changed a few settings and stuff. We'll see if it does any better. Plus, I don't know if you can see the back, but it's still only 35 degrees in there, which can be part of an issue with it warping as it gets a little higher on the layers. So we'll see. Okay, so I heard it play a little song, so I came to check it out. And the light is not amazing. I maybe I can push it back. Chimney looks a little lumpy, but otherwise it's pretty good. Came off the bed nice. If I can get the camera to focus, that's pretty good. Surface quality is nice. The doors look good. Bridging in the window looks nice. Back window looks good. Portholes are pretty decent. Like I said, the chimney is maybe a little lumpy, but like it's really strong. Even though it's a little deformed, I can't break it with my thumb, which obviously we know is the reason we use this filament. But even though it looks a little wonky, it's really solid. Now this was the default PETG CF profile in flash print. All I did was remove the supports, turned off the part cooling, and changed the nozzle temperature. Everything else is exactly the default settings. So that's pretty good. Pretty happy with that so far. So I'm gonna do a few more test things, make a few parts and stuff, and just kind of see how it goes. But I think for now, that'll be the end of this video. You can see the camera over here. You can see the spool holder I printed. That's just printed in white PETG on my Artillery X1, and it just slides into the post at the back there. Unfortunately, this hole in here is not big enough. It was a silly design. They should have made that to fit 1 kilogram spools, so not super happy with that. The other interesting thing too is I set up something called Flash Cloud. There it is. I set up Flash Cloud, and you can see the little logo up on the screen. I logged in, made an account, and that allows me to remotely access this machine and start prints anytime from a web browser anywhere. So that was kind of neat, I thought. I can load projects right into the Flash Cloud dashboard, and it shows me if the printer is running. It doesn't give me video from the camera for some reason, but you know, there is Polar Cloud that I could also try, and I'm not sure what my menu factory, I haven't explored that option yet, but I did set up Flash Cloud, which was pretty neat. So pros for this machine. I really like the Wi-Fi connectivity and the ability to stream directly from the laptop for printing versus using a USB or micro SD. I also like the cabinet design. I like that it comes with a camera, even though the quality is not that great. I like that it comes with a glass bed, even though it's not removable. The glass is nice for what I'm using it for. I like the size of it. It's not overly huge. It works well as a desktop kind of unit. Covers a lot of reasonable sized prints, you know, if you're doing small prototyping. I do really like the swappable nozzle design. I think that works really well. I think it's a smart idea too. You can easily just switch out a plug nozzle if you have a spare. Like, it makes life a lot simpler. What else? I like the simplicity of the interface.
it's, you know, like set and forget kind of situation. Not a lot of fiddling involved. It just kind of works out of the box. Now, cons, I'm going to have to say the firmware is buggy. I'm still having problems even days later with um, the filament loading and unloading. It just locks up the heater and it won't heat for whatever reason, and I have to do a power cycle and then manually load and unload. So that needs to be addressed. I'm going to reach out to Flashforge about that. Um, Something else I don't like is the camera quality is not great. Um, it gives you a good idea of whether the print is happening or not, but you can't really see a lot of detail. I mostly use it just to make sure that the print hasn't failed. And one other thing I thought was really weird is the Flash Cloud software or website, I guess you could say, will not allow the temperature of the nozzle when you're using the online cloud slicer. You can't go above 240 degrees. Even though the machine comes with a 265 nozzle and it's installed, you can't do it. So I can't remotely print from the cloud because I can't set the temperature high enough for the nylon that I'm using. So that's kind of not awesome. I also don't like that the filament roll doesn't fit in the cabinet space in the side that they've designed for it. So that's kind of a fail, I think. But that was corrected on the Adventurer 4, which makes this kind of irrelevant. But anyone that's bought one of these like I have is stuck now with a roll of filament hanging out the side. It's not how it was meant to be. Um, Other things I don't like is the plastic cabinet rattles a lot. After days of use, the thing has kind of developed a few rattles and squeaks, and the movement is not as quiet as it was. So it's really become kind of my second noisiest machine, I guess I would say. So my X1 is very quiet, and then there's my BICU B1, which is quite loud actually when it's operating. And this guy would be somewhere in the middle between the two, and that annoys me. So that's a con for me.
That'll do it for this video and my first run at this Flashforge Adventurer 3 Pro. So feel free to reach out with any comments or questions or anything that you guys might have regarding this guy. I think my next video I'm going to do a recap on my Artillery X1 right here. It's been pretty much in daily operations since I would say 4 years now. So it's got a lot of hours on it, and I just would like to do a video about that. So anyway, we'll see you again soon.